do Senhor a todos os inscritos do canal Parte Evangélica. No vídeo a seguir veremos um estudo sobre a relação dos celulares com a marca da BESTA. Confiram.
Conducting research in ancient anthropology and translation in the pure word to try to come up with a much more in-depth meaning to actually show the world the underlying true intent of some of these very obscure verses. And we came across Revelation 13:15, and in our studying of that verse it actually terrified us because we realized what this means if we were correct, and we believe we are correct when you look at the original Greek, that we are much, much closer to the return of Christ than we ever thought in the final 7 years. Let me read from the pure word, Revelation 13:15. And it was made given to him to give a spirit to the image of the wild beast, that then the image might utter and might cause those whoever might not have worshipped the image of the wild beast, that they should be killed. On the surface, it seems a little poetic, but this is precisely the language that John used. Now, that sentence in itself doesn't mean much to us, but if we go and even look deeper into some of the key Greek words that John used and why he used those words, it makes sense. John is referring to an entire system being developed, and he does it all in a single sentence. We note that the first word of 4 key words, spirit, will cover spirit, image, utter, and worshipped. The first word, spirit, has many references, but in this case, a spirit is referring to a rational soul, not an actual spirit. A soul is mind, emotion, and will. So in other words, we might think of that as intelligence, or in today's vernacular, a human type of intelligence, which could be artificial intelligence or sophisticated AI computer program.
Now this is very interesting, and I want to just try to clarify a bit, because I'm looking at my King James, speaking of the Antichrist, 13:15 in Revelation, and it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Right.
Well, the word there is life.
Right.
But really,
it's not living.
It's not really.
It's not real, because that particular word is spirit, referring to mind, emotion, will. In other words, an intellectual process. He gave an intellectual process to what? The next word, image. And this is the key part, one of the key parts. An image refers to a likeness. Now, in the past, if you were to read the King James Version, a lot of people believe that a statue or representation of the Antichrist was created and was given life and could speak. But let's go further to see what it really means.
Okay.
This artificial intelligence was given an image. Now, this image refers to a likeness or a form or a substance. It doesn't have to be physical, but in this case, we believe it is physical because of the manner in which he refers to it as. He's referring to it as a thing. Now, many people, like I said, believe this could be an Antichrist statue, but what we believe that John is referring to, because he's referring to an entire system, is that this mechanism or device gives people a visual communication which connects to the system. You'll see why in the next 2 words.
Okay.
The third, and this is the most significant Greek word, it's to utter, which is strong number 2980, if you want to look that up. There are, in Greek, in New Testament, there are 12 Greek words that are used to express oral communication. This particular word was chosen by John for a reason, to utter, strong number 2980. This means of communication is interesting because it is to communicate something, and at the same time it is impossible for either the listener or the speaker to understand. So of all 12 forms of communication, the person can't comprehend this type of form of communication. And guess what? Note this. It's the image that is doing the communicating. The device. The physical thing is doing the communicating, and it's communicating to what? The system, and it tells us later what the system does, in a language that we can't comprehend.
So you're not talking about some carved marble statue or something. You're talking about something that has power, it has motion, it has energy, it's doing something.
It's doing something, and it has an artificial intelligence associated with it. Now, this is clearly different from what people think when they read the King James Version, where it says that this image will speak.
Yes. In fact, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this image of the beast, when you place this in the context of the 21st century, we're looking at something highly technical.
Yeah, this form of communication in the 21st century could be seen as, it is definitely a form that humans can't comprehend. And what can't we comprehend? The communication of computer codes being transferred with encrypted data and semaphores. So this word utter is a key word that John uses. Of all the 12 he could use, he uses this particular word. Now, let's go to the last word, for worship. In this case, it means to have unquestioning allegiance to. It doesn't mean to get on your knees and to bow down, such as to a statue. It means you're using this system which connects you with unquestioning allegiance to the system. So if we want to take all four of these words, substitutes the 21st century definition for what these could possibly mean, and it looks like these are the case, and substitute it in that same verse, we come up with an interesting verse. Let me paraphrase the same verse, Revelation 13:15. And it was made given to him, the Antichrist, the intelligence and function of an image or device which connects to the financial system, and the connecting function would communicate in a language unintelligible to the user and might cause those who do not have unquestioning alliance to the financial system to be killed. It's interesting.
And
He's
all of the
describing
above,
the system.
yeah, the system is what everybody's talking about now. Everybody's talking about multi-billionaires, trillionaires, and they're getting together on a worldwide basis and developing a web, a communications web, which is now salted with artificial intelligence. It's a reality. It's not just future anymore. I'm given to understand that artificial intelligence is now controlling a lot of the communications that we're using on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that's a wonderful thing. But it scares me, quite frankly.
Yeah, it actually scares us too. The reason why this scares us so much is because this sentence read the way John, I truly believe, is referencing it, is the genesis of a system that would ultimately be the confirmation and delivery system for the actual mark of the beast. So what are we talking about? What does this most clearly and closely connect to that we have in the 21st century? Smart devices.
And everybody's got one.
Yeah. What do smart devices do? They connect us to our, besides everything else we do with them, they connect us to our money. Debit cards, credit cards, and smart devices connect us to our money. The world is rapidly moving away from a cash model to a digital system. Cash is going away, and it will eventually go away completely. So that, as Revelation tells us in the end, you will not be able to buy or sell unless you belong to the system. Well, it's not going to be a new system. It's here. It's here right now.
Actually, the thing you're holding in your right hand right now, if you pass that over the right device, it'll pay your bill when you go to a store.
Absolutely. I use Apple Pay. So all the Antichrist has to do is to say, you cannot access your own bank account and access your own money by whatever means you do, debit card, credit card, smart device, unless you belong to this, what I'll refer to as the New World Order. In other words, unless you give unquestioning alliance to what we're trying to accomplish. And of course, everybody will do that. Why? This is the smartest man in the world. He's come to save all of this. He's going to create sustainability. He will remove hunger and disease, and he's going to bring in utopia on earth. And he's going to give us the promise of peace and safety. Why wouldn't I want to cooperate with that? Why would I want to fight against that? So of course, I will agree and join the program. Interesting thing here, and this is what scares us. I alluded to it, but I didn't say it. If we read the very first few words of that verse, and it was made given to him, the Antichrist. It can't be given to him, this entire system, unless it already exists. And it does exist. It's being created right now, and it's moving around the world. This system has been in the
Então, deixem seus comentários e, se possível, um like. Deus vos abençoe.